It says it's live. We'll do another check.
What was the old commercial? Are we live or are we Memorex? Is that the name of it? You don't know that one?
No, Memorex is like the CD company.
Is that what it was?
They make
Memorex?
like at least Memorex to me was like all the blank CDs that you could burn music onto.
Yeah, maybe. Um, and I think we're live now.
Cool. Let me double check this. I was super quiet last time. Let me know how you
That
think
the
I'm
name
doing
of
right
it?
now.
You don't know that Let me go
one?
out and
No,
just check.
Memorex is like the CD.
You thought you were quiet? I guess I didn't know. Maybe I was just loud.
It could be both, I guess. Who knows, right?
I know.
No, it's all good. I think we're live. I think I can hear myself. I think we're good. I feel like such a boomer just like holding up a phone like, "Can you hear me?" just like screaming as loud as I can into it.
You are super quiet.
Okay, let me try this again. Do I sound louder to you now?
Hold on.
How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Tell me when to stop. How now, brown cow?
You can stop for now. Let me.
Okay.
I think you could boost your gain just a little bit
All right,
more.
I'm gonna keep trying.
Just a little bit more. I just sound super loud, I think.
No, you sound fine to me, by the way. Like you're
Yeah.
not too loud to me. Yeah.
I think it's this new microphone. I don't know.
No, I think it sounds great. I sounded like I was screaming for the first couple episodes, so I moved the mic really far away and then I turned it all the way down. So that's where I'm at right now. Awesome, strong start.
You sound really good now.
Okay, cool. I'll leave with that, and then if I
Yeah.
find out I'm screaming again, then
Yeah.
I'll just tell people that's my natural voice.
Exactly right. All right. Well, welcome everyone.
Woo!
So, here we are back for our 10th episode, believe it or not. I know.
The hater said we couldn't make it.
I know. No one believed, and here we are. So, congratulations to us.
Cheers,
And then
brother. Cheers. Cheers.
for that, I'm drinking hardcore sparkling ice Starburst. I don't know if you guys like sparkling ices. I love these things. I don't know if
Dude,
you've
that one
ever.
sounds really good. Like a strawberry starburst drink. Is that how that goes?
Exactly.
Is it sugar
Exactly
free
right.
too and everything?
Exactly. It's
Okay.
sparkling ice and it's
Okay.
a Starburst strawberry flavor.
Okay, okay. I love all the sugar-free drinks at this point. I used to hate like all the aspartame and whatnot, but now it's just like, okay, if I just pound 70 of these, it becomes
Yep.
what normal sugar tastes like to me. So,
Exactly right. So we're on a little bit later today. So that's all right. I know our adoring fans will
mm-hmm,
they'll give us a little grace here starting a little bit later
mm-hmm.
today. So do you want to start with an intro of any sort or should we just dive into it?
I say let's dive in. I think last time we were getting deep into all the cool planning that we wanted to do. I think that's cool conversation to keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe there's a reminder of what happened last time. I'm trying to think. We ended at combat and we had basically kind of established some of the core actions that we could do. And I think that was really it. There was the attack, skill, use item, rest, flee, move. So I think those are the last six. Or those last six actions were like where we left off last time.
Yeah, we kind of went through all of this stuff we discussed about, I think, all of the way through combat.
Mm-hmm.
What I did though, by the way, and I think we should probably show off what you did as well with the character inventory stuff,
Sure, yeah.
if you're okay with that. And
Absolutely.
then
Fire it up.
I can show what I did as well.
Okay.
So let me just start. Oh, let me just start up the game here.
I love it. A little sprint demo.
Yeah, exactly. One thing before I forget, because I'm sure I'll forget, is this is just more of a debug thing. We'll have to, if possible, add the ability to add items back to the game, to the
Yes.
character sheet
Yes. Yes.
at some point. But oh, I didn't want to steal your thunder there. Oops.
No, you're good.
So, what
The
did you work
stakeholders.
on, Clay?
So I knew the stakeholders were gonna come down on me hard this week, and I had to make
That's
sure
right.
that I got a lot done. But
Yep.
last episode, or maybe it's 2 episodes ago now, where we actually worked on the character and inventory screens, working on splitting it apart.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a little bit ago. So just to kind of show everybody where it's at now, please, Steve, fire up C and I. You now have an inventory and character screen, and believe it or not, it was actually difficult not to split it apart like this, but the part where you want to drag it from one part to the other, that was the meat and potatoes of the challenge here. So if you see, you can actually drag them across, which the UI is funky because I didn't try to clean anything up, but hey, it works. It's like a strong start, right? So I'm happy with where it is right now. And there's a lot that needs to change. Like we want to always persist the chat in the bottom left and all that, but for now, yeah, you can move stuff around. I thought that was exciting.
That's super exciting. It is absolutely 100%
Were
exciting.
you amped when you got to play with it? Because when it worked the first time going across, I was like, "This is so sick."
Yeah,
Because yeah,
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah, this is all great. I also wanted to talk a little bit about this is not a bug, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Dragging this into a pack slot where there is no pack, that is meant to be a feature, not a bug.
Can you unpackage that with me? Because I immediately my mind went to that being a bug when I saw it, but to me it feels like when would you be able to throw like a short sword as like a pack or something like that? Because then it appears in your inventory and as if it was a bag. So that was where I was thinking, oh, maybe that's unintended, but I would love to know the design of that.
What do you mean?
So why would I be able to assign a short sword or an armor to a pack slot?
So these, however you want to call these, maybe
Mm-hmm.
we shouldn't call them pack slots, but these are storage
Okay,
slots. Maybe that's a better way of thinking about it. So I can put any items in my storage slots, including non-pack items.
I follow. So then the packs are actually what expands those already existing slots. Okay, no,
That's
that
correct.
that checks out with me. I had originally thought this would be like those are reserved specifically only for packs, but I'm totally cool. That's not a problem at all. I was just nervous that I'd broken something. So
Now,
yeah,
this is good functionality here.
cool.
This will especially become more apparent like when we add banks or personal storage or whatever the case may be. Like in a bank, you have a certain number of slots, but then if you add packs in your banks, you suddenly have expanded the number of things that you can store in your bank spots. So yeah, it's just one of those things like you summed it up perfectly. They're just storage. You can put anything in the storage and then packs just increase that storage.
Nope, totally cool with me. I was imagining like when I was working on it at the time, I was imagining something like I don't know, like a Zelda game or something where like you got a backpack or you keep upgrading your bag sizes, but it's like they reserve slots for bags. So
Yeah.
that was me going with that. But this makes sense. I actually like it because it's like now when you start the game, I would presume we start the game with a bag. Is my guess for like the
Every
character.
character starts, yep, every character starts with the small backpack that's given at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, yeah. So
So there's
then,
a bunch of starting gear that everyone has access to.
mm-hmm.
And the small backpack is the one of the things based off of the class that you have, as well as the background that you choose. So let me show you that really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just run through it really, really fast. Oh, come on. Sorry, my laptop is actually covering up the bottom of my screen.
Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while I have to like move my laptop lid so it looks weird.
Got it.
So here, let me just quickly show this as well for everyone at home so they can get a kind of a sneak preview of what they're going to have access to when they start the game. So this is the starting gear for every class. So all of them have a small backpack to start out.
Got it.
All of them have a tome of their class skill that they start out
Yep,
with.
yep, yep.
So tomes are where people learn skills. So you can get tomes by buying them from your class trainer. You can have tomes by questing for them. You can get them off random drops. You can
Mm-hmm.
basically tomes allow you to expand your skill set, and you can get them in a myriad of different ways. And then obviously some potions, some, you get one rusty item and one faded armor item.
Cool.
And then based off of your background, you also get just like a couple of other items.
Mm-hmm.
And then a race, you also get something as well.
Awesome. No, it makes sense to me. So you sounds like
Yep.
everybody starts off with a small bag that can hold 8 items, and then they have additional 7 slots ready to go. Are we gonna let them cook up a bunch of characters, grab the small bag, delete the character, throw it onto one character, so they start the game with 8 small bags?
You can't trade between your tunes.
Ooh, okay. I didn't. I okay. Okay, got it. Got it.
No. So, I mean, we might add what are called legacy items at some point where, like, if you want to twink out something, you can maybe later in your journey, you'll grab something and then you'll be able to make it universal across all your characters. But bag slots are certainly not one of them.
Okay, and then because I was thinking about it from an item perspective, what happens if you're a mage and you grab wands and staves or whatever, but then you got a hold of like a legendary sword that is maybe something that you wouldn't equip, that wouldn't be able to get to like a warrior later or something like that.
Well, what do you mean? So, like in loot, like you're just walking around and you grab some loot or something?
Right, like let's say I kill a boss on some boss run and they drop a battle axe, but you're a mage, so you don't need a battle axe. But
Yep.
you were mentioning not sharing items across tombs, so I'm just wondering like what happens to cool loot like that.
Yep, exactly. And so that's always been the sort of question for while you're raiding or questing or whatever, what happens to items that you don't need versus rolling greed. And we can talk to that when we get to the loot section. But usually what happens on loot rolls, you can either choose need or greed or just ignore it completely. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. And if you roll need, it means you really need it for your class. Like, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be an upgrade for your class.
Mm-hmm.
If you're rolling greed, you're doing that so that you can, disenchant it, or you can sell it or put it on the auction house or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
And then obviously ignore so you don't need it at all.
Okay. I'm saddened. So I love this system, but I'm also sad at the idea of me getting one of the sickest items ever, but I can't use it on any of my characters. Like that makes me really sad.
Well, but doesn't that's rife with exploitation then, right?
Oh yeah.
So if I'm in a raid and I'm rolling for my alt for my tune that I play once a year versus an actual hunter who needs that item, I mean, I, I don't know. We can talk a little bit more about the need versus greed rolling system and what to do about that. And sure, we can make it so that I can grab an item and maybe trade it with a tune or whatnot. We can figure all that stuff out. Um, but yeah, it also depends like how we want the game to go.
Mm-hmm. No, no, I hear what you're saying. If you make it so you can only get items that are assigned to you, I see what you're getting at. Now I'm forced to at least make sure that I play that character from start to finish and do that work basically. Because I definitely hoard items for my new characters and then I just stuff them full of the best stuff and then they roll out and level up
But
faster and what have you.
there's nothing to prevent you from doing that. That's for sure. Like if I was in here and I got an item, I could definitely just put it in my storage and then log on as my alt and we could trade together. And so I can just trade it to my alt if I wanted to. But we can talk a little bit more like the ethics behind rolling for random items like that,
Nope, sounds like a plan. Cool.
since it's a multiplayer game and not a single player game.
Right, right. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I guess you're right. In theory, if there's trading and stuff, I could trade it to you, then you trade it to my alt, right? So I get what you're saying, but I guess we
Well,
can.
you could just log in as your alt and you could just go trade with yourself.
Oh, through like a shared storage, right?
No, like you'll have trading in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can just open up another tab and log it as my alt.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So I was gonna bug you about that. Is that I was gonna try to force it so you can't ever log in as more than one tune at the same time. So, but I hear
Oh,
you.
yeah, I can just choose another character and just log in.
Okay, okay. I was gonna try to block that later on. That was another conversation I want to have with you, but we'll table that for another time as well. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was thinking about like why would it be? Because there was times that I was logging in, but because I was already logged in with that character on another screen, I was like on the map twice, and I was like, hmm. So
Yeah.
that was why that was the spirit of that thought.
Let me just do something here off screen while I'm doing this.
Hmm
I'm just gonna come in here. So yeah, right now on my other screen in a different browser, I'm let's see if I can. Oh, that's weird. Why can't I see myself? That's weird. Oh, I can I can see Clark here.
hmm
Oh, I can see me now. Anyway, so this is me obviously playing on two different browsers
hmm
on the same
hmm
account. So, but
hmm
I understand what you're saying is like somehow prevent that from happening.
That's what I was intending to work on. But let me know if you almost want people to be able to squat up with an entire party of four with all their own tunes.
I honestly don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Well, I guess we can figure out if that's good or bad for the game. I'm not
Sure.
sure.
Sure. Maybe that's a problem for another day, I think. But yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
I had originally thought we'd only want to restrict you to one.
Uh, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
People really want to log in 4 or 6 different times and play with different tunes on the same account. Go for it.
Four
Anyway,
browser instances, yeah.
so this all looks good. Your character and inventory stuff. Like I said, I did want to be able to add. I was wondering if, like, the layout, we could put the packs down below here,
Mm-hmm.
and that would give a little bit more space as well to make these a little bigger if you wanted to. So you could do 2 rows of 4.
Absolutely. This was not. I did not do any UI, by the way. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. So this is not anything to fall in love with. The only thing I was actually really focusing on was dragging and dropping because there were so many weird things. Like if you dragged it, it would just like disappear in certain places. Like just like little things that I was like working with. And then the way that it's laid out around the paper doll is actually not the correct ordering. So there's
Okay.
work to be done. This is far from completed. It was more about the architecture setup for the containers. That was mainly the big one.
No worries.
Hmm
No worries. Um, I will say that I added some stuff this past week as well. I added, so you know how we were talking about skills and skill ups and combat and all that sort of stuff. So I did add. I know we're going to talk about skills in this episode, but to that end, let me just quickly show you some things here. Let me just go back to this. One is the loneliest number. Okay. So what I added, by the way, let me just quickly refresh this, just go back in, is now in combat. We were talking about like implementing skills and how it might be difficult and whatnot. Oh, what's going on over here? Wow,
Ooh, bug.
that's not good.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe some sort of hard refresh is happening. Maybe you can do one refresh and try that again. Let's see. Uh-oh.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's new.
Can you log in and log back out? I'm wondering if there's a distinction of the token not working. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I wonder if that was having to do with my other character.
That would be funny. It's possible. Uh-oh.
Oh, nice.
I could not tell you what that is. I will tell you that I did work on some authentication token work, so I'm wondering if we coerced something weird to happen just now on accident. That's a good bug to note. Let me write that down.
Let me just quickly stop these servers as well.
Mm-hmm. Let me do more work on the tokens and auth.
Okay.
By the way, auth is my least favorite part out of all development is auth.
Oh, is it? Why is that?
It's just so like so many things can go wrong and the payoff is so like the payoff is that it just is like everything works how you thought it was originally going to work. So it's just like there's no payoff. It's like this is how it should work, you know? It's like, ugh. And I just hate working on it. It's just like so many things can go wrong anytime. Okay.
Wow, this is taking forever to shut down. What in the world is going on?
I wonder if something is hanging.
I'm just gonna squash them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on.
This is what we do to the user if they try to log
I
into too
know.
many tunes at one time.
That's right.
Sucker, you're just stuck in this forever. You don't get to play anymore.
Let's see what happens here. Sorry. Let's go in here. Oh boy.
Man, I wonder what happened then. You get any errors locally for your server? Client disconnected. So the servers look good.
It's Supabase. Something's going on with Supabase all of a
Oh
sudden.
no. All you did was change the level just now. Let me see if I get it on my side.
No, I think it's.
I'm gonna fire up the machine one sec.
Huh.
So far,
This
so
is
good
good.
on my side. So we did find an isolated bug instance if you maybe try to sneak in with multiple characters. I think.
Yeah, but I don't have multiple characters going right now.
Yeah, so far so good on my side.
Yeah, but I can't show you what I wanted to show you is the
Oh,
problem.
I believe it. Okay. Yep, so far so good.
Let me try one more thing here. Yeah, this is not going exactly to script, but that's kind of the nature of,
You found a
of
new
what
bug.
we're doing.
No, it's okay. It's okay. There'll be more bugs. We use AI to solve bugs AI created.
That's correct. Wow. Okay. Just make sure that everything looks good in the database. Because, like you said, the only thing I really changed was the experience and the level of the character. But I don't see anything like, yeah. All right. Well, let's see what happens. No.
Can you open up the console? Let's just see what the error is. Uh, yeah, Control Shift I. Cool. Okay, so it's hard refreshing. I wonder if we can grab something from there.
There's a way to pause. How do you pause?
There is a pause button.
Yeah, but where is it?
Yeah,
How is up here?
Control Shift I. Let me remember, reorient myself. It's if you hover.
Why can't I find the pause? There's usually a pause.
I'm on Firefox, which I never use.
What is going on here?
Okay, something with cannot load character. Do you see anything pinging on the server for the main API service? No, what was I going to do again? I was going to... Oh yeah, let's find out how to let you pause that.
It just keeps saying invalid or expired token. on the verify super base token.
Okay, then let me. This is gonna suck. Do you mind going to your tab and go to application?
I was just gonna have let's just I was gonna have AI give it a go.
Sure. I think right now your token is just fucked, so we might want to just delete it.
All right. So you don't want me to ask AI? You want me to just do something else?
We can try. AI just might not be unless you can pause this properly to get it and copy the console logs. I think AI might get stuck. So you can go into where is it? Application, local storage. Where is this guy? Oh, that's right. I need to go here. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
you want me to go on the front end? You're
Yeah, if you go
saying?
on the front end, let's just start over, and if
Yeah.
you can open up the open
Yeah.
up the console. Yep. Go to application.
What is going on here?
Annoying things.
I know. Uh,
Yep. Go to local storage to the left.
yep.
Yep. Peel that guy open, and I would just clear out the whole thing. I don't think there's any reason not to. But specifically the. Oh wait, let's see. Does it say something weird on the off token?
Yeah, it keeps popping in and going out.
See, so it's something weird. I will just clear this all out, and let's see what happens. How weird.
That's weird. It didn't delete them.
See, you can go. Yeah, you can just right click them and click delete. Yeah, cool. That's working.
I did.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah, I
selected them
see
all and
it.
did
Yeah,
delete.
yeah, I see it. No, I see where you're going through. All right, there we go. Something there was crazy.
I'm gonna delete that
Yep,
too.
I would agree. And then try to relog in. I wonder if when you logged in with the other character, there's some sort of off thing. So let me test out what happens. That's the only thing I can think of was you logged in with two characters.
Actually, but this is a different browser.
Oh,
Um,
right, right. So you used a different browser. Okay.
no, so what I first did is I was going to log in on this browser, and so I did this to start out.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I originally did it because I was going to log in this way, and that's when I exited out of here, went to the other browser instead.
Hmm.
So I think that has something to do with it.
I'm not sure. You know what? The players are smart. The players will figure it out. I'm just kidding. I'm messing. I'm messing.
Oh man.
All right. At least we're
Anyway,
back at a better spot. Yeah.
I mean, I got my music on. Audio. I don't know if you could hear that.
No, I couldn't from here.
Okay. So basically, what I did, and this is kind of where I'm needing the PR, is I now have one-handed pierce skill increased to 2 when I attack there.
Okay. Cool.
So I now have combat skills hooked up so that when you're using your weapons or whatnot, it will automatically level up as needed. So now it's 3, etc.
Okay.
So when we use Mighty Strike, when we use Firebolt or whatever, we were talking about skills and
Yep.
implementing them, and we
Yep.
haven't gone into that just yet in this episode. But I already implemented that for combat, so the skill up and the skill experience stuff is there now.
Love it. Love it. So we just need to figure out how to get the skill to be in a noticeable place to drag into the hot bar, basically, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Exactly right.
So then,
So
oh yeah, we talk about skills. This is probably a good segue.
yep. So to your point, there should be I think this should be tabbed. And you should have character, you should have skills as the next tab, and then all your skills will be listed here.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
you
you can just drag them right into the hotbar.
and you can maybe pop open this same window by pressing S or something
That's
like
correct.
that. But it just selects that
Exactly.
tab. Okay.
Yep.
No, I got it. Let me note that in linear.
And there'll be another tab on top of that as well, next to it.
And
It'll be factions.
I'm all for that design. Just wondering if you have an opinion on having skills, characters, etc., all live in the same screen, and you just kind of have tabs versus like me pressing skills and having a whole window be just for skills. Then if I press C, I can only see that one. You know, like just wondering how you felt about that. I have no opinion. I'm just wondering like your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm used to having the tabs because Honestly, you're gonna be in your character slash skill slash faction slash achievement window almost all the time during the game.
Mm-hmm.
So just being able to quickly swap between the two of them rather than having a window here, a window here, a window
Yep.
here, a window here, or having 4 or 5 windows open, I just think it's harder to navigate that rather than easier.
No,
So,
no, I think you've convinced me. That makes sense as well. I also hated when there was so many windows. I'm a hotkey player, so like I was always just clicking C, S,
yep.
etc. Anyway. So, but I do hear your point. Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, yeah.
Awesome. No, I'm excited to. I'll have a refactor up for the character screen to be able to be accountable for skills as well. And I would presume other stuff is going to be stuffed in there later on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Things
Cool.
like factions and achievements, those will all be up as far as tabs, etc.
Now, do you want to hear a crazy UI UX conversation that is currently always being bashed through?
Let's
It's
hear.
should tabs be at the top, like horizontally, or should be tabs be vertically going down? This is the one of
I
the biggest points of contention in UX that I've ever seen. By the way,
Is it really?
yeah,
I mean, I understand the tabs on the sides, but that feels more like a medical journal or
you
something.
got it.
Tabs up top is stuff that I'm used to. So,
So, and I'll tell you what it is. When you do tabs on top, which is actually what most tech companies, in my experience, do tabs on top, but then they become bigger douchebags, and as time goes on, you don't know what things will be added, so you just keep adding tabs indefinitely. And if you do it horizontally, you do eventually run out of space. But tabs vertically means you get to be a bad planner indefinitely. Do you know
sure.
what I
It's
mean?
space with scroll bars.
You can exactly, but you can't do it. But horizontally requires you to have been more thoughtful and know what you were building from the get go, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So just
What
wanted to
about
throw that out there in case we also don't know exactly how this is supposed to shake out.
what about I'm reticent to bring this up,
hmm
but this is Sheets, and where are the tabs on this?
They're at the bottom. They're at the, no, no, no. Don't worry. You're not gonna, and you're just gonna have to be one of those people that, as time goes on, you clicking to the right, and UX people hate that. I think so, but
But
it's normal to have had tabs horizontally this whole time. Like that's just how we
well, I'm not
think.
even talking about horizontally versus vertically now. I'm
Mhm.
just talking about location of the tabs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. You put them on the bottom. I think they should be at the top for like the game. I think this is just Excel sort of made this the norm for this
Yep.
design here more than it's actually the right design.
Yeah. The reason I asked that is remember when we were looking at the WoW character images?
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're at the bottom, huh?
Yep. That's
Cool.
why I picked it up. So their character tabs are all at the bottom on their and on their character sheet.
So I think they look good, but the problem is now they're stuck with character. What did that say? RUI. That's like the name of the character, I would presume, or Rui. Is that what it is?
Rough. No, this is German, so I assume this is like
Uh,
character skills and I don't know achievements.
got
That's what
it.
I'm
Got it.
guessing
Got it.
these are.
So if you think that will be good designers for the game and not just be like, oh, we got a cool B2B play with Audible. Now we need an Audible tab. You
Yeah,
just keep building indefinitely by strapping a limb onto the skeleton. Then horizontal is actually fine. But if you're someone who designs an app, which is most tech companies, not knowing how it's going to turn out, then the vertical tabs is usually how you hedge for poor planning.
I definitely don't want to do vertical tabs.
Love it. No, I'm glad to hear you say that. That's great. Yeah.
I definitely want to do horizontal, but I have no idea about on top or on bottom.
Yeah. No, I hear
It's
you. No.
interesting.
hmm
In WoW, of course, they even have vertical tabs
Yeah.
because they have different ways of filtering off here.
Yeah.
So
So there's
I don't
always
know.
there's always a design way to make up for the fact that you didn't plan well enough.
That's correct. That's exactly right. So,
Yeah.
again, good problems to have, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Is if you're running out of tab space, it means that we have a lot of feature set and the game's going quite long.
Right.
So anyway, okay.
Cool.
Um, So I guess we could talk a little bit about skills.
Yes.
Let me. We talked a little bit about skills and how they work, right?
We talked about it when we were designing the MVP sheet together, but never live on air to kind of talk through it. Yeah.
So the game is what I'd call skill based in the sense that there's a list of skills that every class will have access to. Let me just quickly bring up. We did talk, I think, a little bit about the warrior or maybe one of the classes, right?
Yes.
Let me just quickly bring up. Sorry, I was just gonna bring up the like a fighter or a thief or a mage or something like that. Actually, let's just bring up the fighter.
Mm-hmm.
If I can find it, why can't I find it? Actually, let's go to thief. Sorry, I'm looking for it on the there it is. There it is. Let's bring this up. All right. So thief skills. Thief skills. So these are all the skills that a thief, when they go through their journey, will have access to.
Mm-hmm.
Some skills are more important to the class than others. And so that's what kind of defines them. And for example, a thief. Hiding is the number one thing that thieves are going to be doing. Their playstyle is to hide in the shadows and then ultimately attack, do a backstab, do the sorts of things that thieves do in combat. Also, they can use hiding outside of combat to sneak around the map and get in places that they probably shouldn't.
Sure.
And so hiding is very, very quintessential to the thief class. Even as they get stronger and stronger in the game and they go a different path, whether they go a ranger, archer, assassin, whatever, hiding will always be an important skill for them. So in that sense, these like skills that you see in blue, these are all the skills that they're going to start out level 1 within the game itself.
Cool. That's fun that there's so many skills to start with. That's fun.
And as they level up their character, it will unlock the ability to learn new skills, which define their classes even more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about it briefly about mastery points. As they continue to progress their character class, they also earn additional, what we're calling mastery points, to specialize the skills to make them even better. So, like maybe for hiding, they can specialize in hide, and then when they're hidden, they do double damage to their attacks. Or maybe it's bleed damage to their attacks, or maybe they don't get detected as often. Or basically, there are skill trees within each base skill that allows a character to kind of pick and choose what they think is the way that they want to play. So,
Right. That makes sense to me. Yeah, yeah.
for MVP, we're not going to be doing any sort of mastery points. We're simply just going to be implementing the base skills. And then for all of the tier 1 classes, and when we say tier 1 classes, I guess we didn't even talk about the classes, but for thief, fighter, mage, and cleric, we're going to basically implement all of those skills for them. There's a lot of overlap between skills. Like a one-handed pierce skill means that I can pick up like daggers or stilettos or any sort of one-handed piercing skill that's out there, any weapon that's out there, and I'll immediately be proficient with that weapon. One-handed slash is going to be very popular, right? That's like all the swords and axes and whatnot. That's one-handed slashing weapons. So what this means is they don't have to become a master of a sword, and then when they switch to an axe, they won't have skill within that. They will. However, within the one-handing slash specialization, that tree, they could specialize with swords or they could specialize with axes. And so maybe they will be the only fighter on the server that has specialized in a certain path for one-handed weapon or one-handed slashing weapons.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
It does. It does. It
So,
does. Yep.
Anyway, so part of the MVP is going to be implementing all of these skills. Seems like a lot. It's really not, because most of them are, um, well, some of them are optional. We won't even have to implement them. So, like skullduggery, these are just base skills that we don't. There's no implementation to skullduggery. It's just like a top level. It's called a meta skill, but it's like there's nothing to actually implement. It's more of a category. As a matter of fact, maybe we should just get rid of this completely, just to simplify it. We won't have to do things like swimming, foraging. We won't implement foraging. Picking locks, we probably won't implement.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll only be a subset of skills for any given class that we'll implement for the MVP.
Genuine question for
Yeah.
implementing skills, like you just did Pierce, is that right?
Yep.
What makes it Pierce? And let me make this a little bit more of a better question. Right now, when I think of attack, like code wise, it might be like when you do attack, do anywhere from 0 to 5 damage. I'm just making up like a rule set. What is
Yep.
it that makes it a Pierce? Because I actually don't know how that looks from a technical standpoint.
Yep. So there are different categories of weapons in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and this is them right here. And you can see this is the skill that's associated with the weapon. So a dagger is a one-handed piercing weapon. So that means that if I pick up a stiletto or a dagger, I'm going to be using the one-handed pierce skill.
Mm-hmm.
What that skill does, it makes it easier for me to hit my enemy. That's part of the combat math that happens. So I'm not sure if that answers your question
No, it does.
necessarily.
The way you showed the sheet, it just looks like these are all objects that will define the parameters of what they're able to do. That makes all the sense to me. Because before, when you had it in the other sheet, I was like, well, how do I know how much damage an arrow does or something? But now there's going to be like a damage property for the arrow. So don't worry, I follow now. I just couldn't think of it like how we were going to make it like an object, but now I get exactly what you're doing. Because there was like distance, or not distance, but range, for example, would be a property on the skill object. So
That's right.
yeah, I follow now. Thank you. Yeah.
Which is super important for the party formations that we sort of briefly talked
Right.
about.
Right.
If I'm a rogue using this bronze dagger of fire and I'm in the back ranks, I won't be able to reach anything.
Yeah.
So this kind of is a forcing mechanism where thieves will almost assuredly be in the front ranks, which means that they are also going to be targeted by the enemies, which means they might want to invest in dodge skills or something that allows them to avoid combat.
Right.
So it'll very much greatly dictate how they're going to specialize in their class and how they play.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yep. It makes more sense to me now that I see this sheet. When you were looking at the other skills sheet, I just was like, oh, those are almost more descriptions than how it would be presented code wise. But now that I see this sheet, these will just get transcribed into an object, and that we just use as a map, as you will. So I totally follow now.
Exactly. And let me show you this really quickly as well, since we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And for those at home who ever watch this in the future, yes, I do have infinite sheets.
That you will scroll horizontally to as much as you need.
So basically, this is where the weapons skill that we're talking about comes into play. So again, you can only get at most 5 skill levels per character level, if that makes sense. There are a maximum of 60 character levels in the game right now, or planned to be 60. So any skill could only ever have a maximum of 300, a value of 300. Except there might be items or buffs or something that might increase that. Maybe you'll go to 310, 320, etc. But this weapon skill value is all used in the calculation of whether I can hit my enemy or not. So the better I am with a skill, the better chance I have to hit my enemy. So that's why it's important when I'm going around swinging something like a sword or whatnot, I get better at it. As I get better with the skill, it makes it easier for me to hit the enemy, and so on and so forth. So That's kind of the thinking there. The more I use my skill, the better I get at, the more benefits I will get in combat or elsewhere. So it's all baked into the math for combat.
It's gonna be a real scary person who maxed out nothing but one-handed pierce or something, and he's just running around being a total nightmare. I feel like so that'd be kind of cool. He's got no other skills, just one button that he's just spamming, right? Like,
Unfortunately, if something happens like that, that'd be great.
I agree. No, I agree. I applaud the person who's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use one-handed bludgeon the entire time.
I will say this: there is some benefit also in the different types of weapons, which we haven't talked about. All of the different damage types, like pierce. So there's four technically damage types. You have piercing, you have bludgeoning, and you have slashing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the types of physical damage that the weapons can do. However, those weapons do different things inherently. Those types of damage do things inherently. So, for example, a slashing weapon has an inherent chance to cause your enemy to bleed. So they just do damage over time. It's a small chance. It's only like a 2% chance, base 2% chance for your slashing weapon to cause the enemy to bleed. And it'll just do additional damage over time. A bludgeoning weapon has a small chance to actually stun your enemy.
Right.
And a piercing weapon has a chance to actually wound your enemy. And what a wound is they stack up. They're stackable. And the more wounds that are on your enemy, the more damage that everyone does to that enemy. So piercing by its very nature seems to be like probably, well, I mean, I guess it depends how you look at it. Stunning seems pretty important. Bleeding seems pretty important. But piercing seems to really be important as well, as like everyone kind of gets a benefit from piercing weapons.
And there's probably, in my opinion, there would be differences of like, let's say it's a heavy armored enemy, a slash or a pierce because he's so armored might be like less effective than having to bludgeon it to death. And maybe there's like flying bats or some shit like that. Bludgeoning them, you might miss more often or something. I'm thinking about it from that kind of meta perspective. Let me know if that's how you were also, because you're right. I wouldn't want it so everyone is just piercing nonstop or slashing nonstop because it's like the only effective way of winning.
Yeah, I mean, well, one, I don't think that can actually happen in the way the game is set
Sure.
up. I mean, everyone's going to max out all of their weapon skills, so I mean, no one's really going to be able to break the game by just doing one-handed pierce or one-handed slash.
Sure.
Just because it's maxed out at 300. I mean, they could specialize in it later, like we're talking about our mastery points,
Yes.
and maybe they'll
Yes.
come up with some skill tree that gives them an advantage, but I don't think it's going to be game-breaking by any means. But to your point of, okay, there's this concept of armor type versus weapon damage type. I've been on the fence with that. That's a classic D&D rule, by the way, for what it's worth. In D&D, like heavy armors, like plate mail and stuff, piercing it's good against it. Slashing is not good against it, and bludgeoning is okay against it. Or there's some combination of like that.
Right.
I'm not sure if I wanted to get that in depth. Maybe at some point we might. But I was going to put like inherent damage or defenses against it. So, for example, classic again trope with skeletons. They take partial damage from piercing and slashing weapons, but they usually take double damage from bludgeoning weapons.
Right.
So I was planning on doing something like that on the mobs themselves, where like elementals, if there's a fire elemental, they're immune to fire damage. Stuff like that, where we can do that with weapon damage as well.
Right. And maybe some enemies are particularly just based off of like, how they're designed. They take no physical damage, but then lightning completely murks them or something. So
exactly right.
Yeah. So I didn't know how you were thinking about like the mobs and the enemies and how they would, have weaknesses and strengths against certain things.
Yep.
But I that's why I like already that there's already all these like different ways of going about it. Yeah.
And I know we're not doing resistances, but that brings up a great point like this, right? So it does base piercing damage, but in addition, it has a chance to proc fire damage. and that's
Ooh,
where the
yeah.
resistances will come into
Yeah,
play.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
so this has a 10% chance on hit to do an additional 1 to 2 fire damage over a course of like 2 turns, I think.
And I'm sorry, proc. I've never heard proc used before, but I would just presume it's an extra bonus that's on top of the item or skill or what have you, right?
Yeah, proc. I think the origin. I'm not sure the actual origin. I think it means procedural generation or something like that.
Oh,
But
okay.
all it really means is when an item does something. That's what a proc is.
Got it.
So like all of these are 10% chance for something. That means
Mm-hmm.
a 10% chance to proc. Same with armors. Like when you're hit, there's a 2% chance that's a proc that happens. It basically when an event happens when you're doing something off of an item, as it were.
Cool. No, makes sense. I hope there's someday some sort of cool bow skill that like does stun and bleeding and all kinds of crazy shit. Some magical skill. No, but that's cool. I got it. Yeah.
Um, I think that's it though on skills. Other than we will be implementing the four four-ish base skills for each of the tier 1 classes,
Mm-hmm.
plus any of the overlap skills, like all the armor skills and maybe like swimming.
Yep. Only question I had was we wanted to have it so like the skills screen pops up next to the character screen. Makes sense. Then I would presume you have a list of all of your available skills. Maybe you can scroll down to see which ones you have yet to unlock or whatever. But is it like we're dragging those skills down and plopping them on down into the hotbar? Is that how we're
Yep.
doing it? So now while they're in the hotbar, we also talked about the 6 combat actions that you can do, like attack and what have you, use item or whatever. How does that play with the hotbar? Because now it's sort of like you make a decision with the actions, but you also are making decisions with the hotbar. I'm just wondering if, hopefully, you get what I mean or pick up what I mean of how that process might shake out, basically.
Yeah, so basically, well, I don't have it open right now,
Mm-hmm.
but basically in slot number 1, usually in the hotbar, that's going to be what you're attacking with. So you won't have a separate attack button like there is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Item number 1 will be your weapon that you're attacking with.
Okay. Yep.
Or hotbar number 1 would be the attack. Like I'm attacking with this sword.
Yep.
However, they could be using either a ranged weapon or their melee weapon. They can choose because there's two. There's two in their UI. There is the option to, oops, right. I could have a ranged weapon here,
Mm-hmm.
and I could have a main weapon here.
Right. Right.
So hotbar number 1 might be their sword. Hotbar number 2 might be their wand or their bow
Mm-hmm.
or whatever's in their ranged slot. A sling if you're somewhere.
Sure.
And so then, like, maybe they're using one most of the time, but then they want to hit someone in the back ranks, an enemy in the back ranks. Now they're pressing 2 in order to hit the enemy in the back ranks
Okay.
instead.
And with that in mind, would they need to click attack and then a skill from the hotbar, or is it just they're
Nope,
just pressing it and that and it's and we'll manually say because you press 1 or 2 that is an attack action.
that's right.
Got it. I
Yep.
understand.
So that basically handles most of the items that you would want to use as well. So, like, if I want to use a stamina potion, I'll drag the stamina potion into my hotbar. That will be my action.
Okay, I'm trying to think then during combat. So I always thought the hotbar would be completely filled out before anything. Like you're just walking around, the hotbar would be filled out. Sounds like you're actually filling up the hotbar with what you want to do as time goes on, or would you say like during combat, or do you think that I'm looking at this completely wrong still?
So you normally, I mean, your hotbars will be empty until you fill them with whatever you're trying to do. And
Yep.
normally there's two different, well, I guess it depends if you're going EverQuest or WoW.
Mm-hmm.
In EverQuest, your hotbar was anything you wanted to do. So whether I wanted to forage, whether I wanted to attack, everything was combined in one. In WoW, you actually had a separate combat hotbar and like outside of combat hotbar, and it would switch between the two. So I would set up my, like, I'm walking around and now I want to forage or I want to go do hiding or I want to do some other skills that are not in combat. That's one hotbar. And then when I actually get into combat, then I will do my firebolt or my melee attack or my range attack, my drink a potion. Those will all be in my hotbars as well.
That's sort of the paradigm that I'm more used to. But it sounds like with this one, let's say I want to drink a stamina potion. When would I have the opportunity to drag that into my hotbar then? If I'm already in combat and I need a stamina potion, or is it that I needed to have done that before I engaged in combat?
No, I mean you can always open up your inventory and just click use if you don't have it in your hotbar. I was thinking if you just wanted to do a shortcut like you have in Diablo, for example, have your potions always
Right.
available.
Right.
So that sort of thing, if you wanted to have a hotbar associated with an item, you could do it that way. But
Okay.
to your point, you don't have to. You could just open up, click I, click on use item, and that's what your action will be.
I think we need a working session on this one, by the way. I think this one
Okay.
just, and it has nothing, no other reason other than to establish the kind of gameplay that we're getting after that a normal person would be running through. I think that a working session on this would be great because I hear what you're saying in the first part. I almost want because I'm starting to work on combat, not the stuff with the skills, but the combat of physically entering combat and what that all looks like. I think we can meet in the middle at the exact same time and flesh out how we would want to do the hotbar stuff to actually implement it. Because now I'm like, oh, we might not need to show all the actions to the user of, we might not need to show them attack, skill, use item. We might only need to give them rest, flee, and move as additional actions because they already have the hotbar full of stuff that they can put stuff in. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah.
Almost assuredly, these will be either in the hotbar or they'll just use it in their inventory. So they won't be separate buttons for sure.
Okay.
Rest and flee, I could kind of see being off to the side of the actual hotbar themselves that only show up during combat.
Exactly.
And then move will only be restricted to the party leader. So we're gonna have to figure out what to do with that.
No. So that's what I meant by working session. I think this is the part that I was getting towards. Where now that I know more about the hotbar, I think we can unpackage that a little bit, and then I'll go in under the impression that attack and whatnot, like because right now attack is just attack, flee, and I think I forgot the other one. They're just like resting right above the hotbar, as like a temporary placeholder. But it sounds like we might not need attack and stuff like that at all. Like they're just going to be a skill. So
that's correct.
Got it. No, so I follow. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I only did that because it was quick and dirty.
I get it. No, don't. That's why whenever you look at the inventory or the character screen, you're like, "Why is it like that?" I'm like, "Because it was quick and dirty."
Yep.
So I get it. Yeah.
Yep. So I guess ultimately, when it comes to skills and the hotbar, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's anything more to discuss other than this kind of like introduce skill system, teach the user how to do all that.
Well,
is there anything really to do though?
Maybe just like once the user has learned, like later on, we'll just be like, "Hey, press S to open up your skill. Drag it." We'll just show them, and then I think that'll be it. Yeah, but
I see. Okay.
through a story,
Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely. I know. Yeah, on the tutorial side of the house where you're teaching them how to play the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Parties. You want to talk about parties?
Yeah, I do. So I was thinking about working on parties already as well because I wanted to test what it looks like when multiple characters log on. I was thinking because this impacts a lot. It impacts chat. It impacts combat. Impacts a lot, right? So to me, like, how would we add someone to a part? I guess let me just add that on. Like, how do you add someone to a party? Oops. I would think you just kind of like have some sort of like if it's Diablo 2, it's like I don't know /FA friend add or some shit like that. I don't know. So, and then yeah.
I can't probably do this. I'll try it. I will try it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens here.
You have a command, don't you?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna try this. All right. So right now, if I click on someone, you see how I have this inspect here?
Yep. Oh, it can be add to party or something. Okay.
That's right. So in addition, you would have like an invite button.
Got it.
So
what happens if they're running around? What happens if they're running around on the other side of Junction? Do I have to chase their ass down?
No, you can also do like most games. They have a slash
Yep.
invite
Yep. Yep.
command,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I can just invite by name here.
Okay. Okay.
But
So I'm gonna add to the thing. You can click on the guy, or you can slash invite.
yep.
Makes sense to me. No, that clears 95% of it to me already. So, and then we would want them. I think we agreed last time, and let me know if you change your mind. The party would be vertical down, and we would use
Yep.
visual indicators of the grid. Yeah.
That's right.
Party appears to the left.
Want to talk about formations really quick?
Yeah, sure.
I had an epiphany today about formations.
Love it. Yeah, let's hear it.
I'll take 3 minutes to describe.
You got 3 minutes. Go for it. Yeah.
So basically, we talked a little bit about party formations at one point, and how the default on a party of 6 would be like 3 people in front, 2 in the middle, and 1 at the bottom, or back ranks, right? So you have short distance, medium distance, and long distance. Well, I thought maybe the party leader could actually have the access to multiple different formations, and then they can pick and choose where people go.
Oh, I always thought that would be the case.
Let me. Oh, okay. Well,
Steve, you ghosted me.
sorry, share stream. I don't know if this is going to show very well. But basically, see if I can bring this up. No, this probably isn't going to show. Well.
Sorry.
Nah, this isn't going to show.
No, it won't. We can't show and tell anything on the cameras with backdrops yet.
But basically, yeah, I came up with all of the different formations that are possible for a party. So you could do like 2-2-2, or you could do 3-1-2, or you could do like 3 in front and 3 in the middle. So
you could do 0 in the middle, 3 in the front, 3. Okay.
Nope. There are rules.
Okay.
There are absolute rules where you have to have at least 1 in every prior rank. Right?
Perfect.
You can't skip ranks either.
Yep.
So, and you can only have a maximum of 3 in a rank.
So you could do 1, 3, 2.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
3, 3. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Because you have to have 1 each. Okay, no, yeah, I follow. And I was thinking
you could do 3-3. You don't have to have a long range rank either. So, but you just can't skip a rank between.
I follow. Okay. So I could have 3-3-0 then.
Yep.
Okay, I follow. Okay. Because at first I was like, wouldn't it be funny if you had like 0-3-3 and you're just running around with no tank and you guys are just sniping? I was like, that could be a funny formation build. But no, I was under the impression from the get-go that it'd be cool to allow the party leader to create these formations. And if they were all vertically aligned, you could just drag them to fit certain formation structures, was what I was thinking.
And I made a ticket for that, by the way, and we'll implement it at some point. But so I put all of the different formation possibilities.
Cool.
Obviously, like formations have to be in all, depending on how many characters are.
Yep.
There's only 1 for 1 character. You're always just the short range. But for 2 characters, it could be interesting. Like your first time you get a merc in your party, you might want to go short and medium range, or you might want to do short and short.
Yeah, maybe you're the mage and you want the tank in front. Maybe you're the tank and you want the ranged character in the back. I get it.
That's right.
Yep.
Exactly right.
No, totally follow. Yep. And
anyway, I put all the different combinations in here, so when we implement it.
Love it. And I was thinking it could just be as easy as as the party keeps growing, the party leader would need to just be like, okay, now you go here, by dragging and dropping the characters that are being vertically listed. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we'll have to have like a little formation screen.
Yeah.
That the party leader will be able to drag people around.
Yep.
But we'll play around with that later. That's not MVP.
No worries. Yeah.
You already wrote that? Formations, yeah. Okay.
Let me just delete that because we got it. Okay.
level up mechanics and experience. Did you want to talk about that at all?
Ooh, I'm down. If you, I'm down to talk about that. Yeah, I believe. Let me remind myself. Level up experience. Yeah, I think this is just more juicy content for any viewers, right? I think we talked about this already slightly.
Yeah. So we basically we're gonna have levels, and here they are, and that's the experience needed to get to the next level.
Perfect.
Now, one of the things that we didn't really talk about though is what happens when you level up.
Mm-hmm.
So at a bare minimum, when you level up, you will get additional vitals per your class. So if that makes sense. So if
Yes.
I'm a fighter and I level up from 1 to 2, I'll get additional 3 health, 1 energy, and 2 stamina.
Yes. Yes. Uh huh. Uh huh.
Obviously, in addition, my ability to level up my skills will increase. So instead of a maximum of 5 in Pierce, now suddenly I have a maximum of 10 in Pierce. So I'll be able to increase my skills again, which makes me more powerful as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, one thing we're not going to be doing, but we can do, is if I want to divert some of my experience into mastery points instead, I could do 50% in character experience and 50% in mastery experience, and then I could actually get mastery points to increase my skills as I'm leveling up my character.
Right. 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 Okay.
So that's for future.
Do you know where you want the experience bar to live? By the way, I feel like everyone needs to see the experience bar. Like slow. I think it ticks above
100%.
the hot bar, probably. Right.
100% has to be above the hotbar. Yep.
We're cooking. We're good. We're good.
Yep. Should we put that in here? Just
Sure.
or
How
you know where
about we'll
that
just
is?
do level up? I'll just put it under here. I'll just
Yeah.
say experience bar lives above the hot bar.
Yep.
It's gotta be sick as fuck when you level up.
Yep.
Cha-ching.
Exactly right. It should show up. The experience should also show up in the character sheet.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, 100% agree. It needs to
Yeah.
be front and center so people know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, Anything else on that?
No, I think we're good.
NPCs? Do you want to talk
Ye-
about NPCs?
I think it's worth talking about NPCs because last time we talked about this, you revealed to me everything is an NPC. So
That's
maybe
right.
you can, maybe what we can agree on for here is what are NPCs for MVP.
Uh, that's a good question.
Yeah, like how many monsters do you want on day one for the rollout?
Yeah. So I think it's gonna once we get the monster creation logic in place, it's gonna be pretty easy to add monsters to the map.
Okay.
Uh, Honestly, these first monsters in Junction are really trivial. They're
Mm-hmm.
really basic. They're not doing anything extraordinary. So, what do I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising. I have another sheet to show
Good.
you.
No, I'm glad you did the legwork. This is great.
Let me go in here. Actually, let me open up mobs. Let me just open this up.
Yeah, looks like for sure we got brown spooters. I'm trying to think what else are like.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe we can introduce the user to some common monsters, and
that's
then
what. Yeah,
the game sort of the demo wears out at them beating up on one champion type of monster or something.
so let me bring this open. I'll show you.
But it's good to hear that if you make one monster, it's easier to make more because I think people will be worn down if all they're beating up on is brown spooters.
Yeah, so this is just some examples of
Mm-hmm.
things that are going to be in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to like bats and beetles and rats and skeletons, etc., there's all sorts of different races that we'll have. Obviously, animals, reptiles, blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
elementals, and so on and so forth. As far as like in Junction itself, there's basically only a few known enemies. Just quickly bring up Junction again. Sorry, I have a spreadsheet for this for Junction itself. Let me bring this up. Sorry, let me open up the Junction sheet. AOD zones, AOD zones, AOD zones. Junction. Where is junction? Sorry, let me find junction here. AOD zones, junction. Well, not that. Sorry. Forgot where I was. Let's bring that up. All right. So this is, in my ideal world, all of the creatures that are in junction.
Okay.
This list right here.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, you get to fight a Dan. That's cool. No, but I get it. He's a lieutenant. Like that's crazy. So there is gonna be that's probably some good storyline that's a little juicy for why you're messing up Dan.
Well, again, don't forget, NPCs are not enemies.
You put them here as an NPC. Got it. These are I thought these were all enemies at first, but these are just all NPCs in Junction. I follow now. Yeah.
That's right.
Got it. Got it.
So, for example, Constable Varian is going to be the fighter trainer. There's very little chance that level one's going up and fighting this guy, nor level 60 at that matter. In fact, one of the biggest griefs in most MMORPGs is high level characters going to a low level zone and killing all of the guards.
Right. Right.
Guards are there to help protect low levels, especially from griefers. So that's why you normally have high level NPCs in low level zones.
Yep, makes sense. And I've at least in my experience, guards are also there in case wild animals and beasts try to like stumble in. But the game doesn't really have them randomly walking around or anything, right? Or will it have
That's
that?
correct. So we can talk about training and whatnot, but I don't think we're going to have that problem in this game.
Yeah.
To your point, that was a huge thing in EverQuest and WoW is you could like aggro a mob and then have it chase you to the guards and then the guards would kill it for you.
That's so funny. I never. So I've done stuff like that, but it was like just to see, just to watch the NPC beat up on like a dung beetle.
Yeah.
Not anything like actually circling them up to like do like
Yep.
loot based things. I thought,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Okay.
So there are all sorts of rules. Like if you were going to do that, then you have to do a certain percentage of damage. Otherwise, the guard gets the kill and you don't get the loot. And so
Right.
it
Right.
becomes complicated.
Right.
But to your point, then I only have to do 50% of the damage, but I still get full loot. And so like that sucks. I mean, that's kind of exploiting the game and blah, blah, blah.
But this
So
won't be a
anyway,
case, right? Because of the turn based nature, they're not just walking around. Yeah. Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
However, there are still going to be high level enemies walking around the
Yeah.
zones. And the guards will aggro them because of the different alignments that we talked about it at one point, where the different races have different alignments, base alignments,
Right.
evil, good, and neutral.
Right.
So if an evil character tries to walk into junction, they're gonna immediately aggro this level 60 guard.
Got it. So the
Yeah.
guard just comes up and just says, "Not today."
Yep,
Sorry, player. You're gonna have to wait for the respawn, and that's about it. Yeah.
that's right.
Got it. Okay.
Until they can build up their faction with that NPC. So in order to do that, though, they'll have to sneak into the zone via hide or invisibility or some other way and start doing quests or killing creatures within that zone to increase their faction so they can start getting on the good side of these guards.
Got it. No, I follow. I follow. I'm more
Anyway,
surprised that guards can aggro things because I thought in my mind most things would be stationary and there aren't going to be people walking around ever from their original grids. But it sounds like we're going to be able to make this happen. So we'll see.
yeah, so aggro, I don't know if you saw like in the console in even now. Oh, you saw it, of course, because you saw the aggro range on the spider on your database.
You're right.
So even now, like if I'm within 2 squares or 2 tiles from that brown spider, it will aggro me.
Right, but the spider at least is the spider always going to be chilling in the same spot, respawning the same spot, or will we be actually able to see the spider move around a little bit? That's
So
the main question I had.
yeah, so I planned on having movement within the areas, like 1 or 2 squares within the area,
Mm-hmm.
just to show like it's animated and it can walk, etc.
Right.
As far as spawning, also it can spawn within that location or 1 or 2 square tiles
Yep.
away.
Yep.
Um, but it's not going to be like a full-on it'll chase you off the map, sort of thing.
Right. So that makes sense to me. So when would there be an opportunity for some beastly enemy to get aggroed or aggro a guard? Like when would that be able to occur?
So, like right now in the game, those at the sort of like the entrance of the noob zone,
Yep.
you can see like there's two
Yep.
sets of guards.
Very aware.
So like
Yep.
if if a bad person, an enemy came down that path, that aggro, there'd probably be 5 or 6 or 8 tiles. As soon as that enemy came within range, the guard would aggro that enemy.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're talking about like a player.
Yeah, a player.
Sorry, I was thinking about a rogue NPC monster.
I
Sorry.
see.
So now no, we're on the same page now. We're on the same page.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay. Yes, that makes sense. If you're not allowed here, you can get out. I get it. Okay.
that's right.
I got it.
As far as like fighting, like the boss that you would probably fight is there's a area in the southeast of Junction. They're the Cobalt Warrens, and there's a level 5 boss there called Chieftain Horgrak. He's the one that would be like the boss for that zone.
Cool. What's our beef
That's
with him?
so we have to come up with a story why the kobolds are infesting Junction.
Do we make it a parallel to something in real life? Like, oh, he's taken all the lithium from the mines or something, Like,
We can come up with whatever we want.
perfect. Got it. We'll, we'll,
Yep.
we'll, we'll cook something up. We'll make an
Exactly right.
allegory.
Yep. In addition, I guess we should talk a little bit about this as well. All of the NPCs in the game have a chance, maybe not all of them, most of them have a chance to, when they die, they'll get respawned after a certain amount of time, whatever that time is, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. Sometimes NPCs will spawn only at night, sometimes only at day, sometimes maybe a certain day of the month.
Right.
We'll come up with the rules for the rare
Right.
spawns.
Right.
But there's a chance that a rare spawn will occur on that where that mob is. They're called placeholders. In EverQuest, people would camp placeholders in the hopes that a rare spawn would show up there so
Love
that
it.
they could get a quest item or a special rare loot item or whatever. So for us, NPCs can be placeholders for other rare NPCs as well.
And have you built out the model for NPCs to even factor in that part?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. No, so it sounds like we get to more or less finger paint in some of these settings of what we want for each NPC, which is more fun and chill than anything else. Is what I meant.
That's right.
Cool.
Yep. Those are all part of the spawn tables, which I think are in the MVP discussion. I hope spawns, maybe. I thought we talked about spawns. Yeah, spawn system. There you go. So all of that rare stuff, how often they come back on the map, etc. That's all part of the spawning system.
Okay, cool. So let's quickly talk about merchants and random NPCs. Do you think you know which ones on day one you want to have? Like, and you don't have to go to the list and be like, oh, I need Dan Lieutenant or anything. I just meant more like, this guy's a blacksmith, so you can go buy this or craft this. This guy's a maybe this is that list, and that's all we need. Okay.
Yep. So, like at a minimum, you're going to have a trainer for each of the base tier classes, right?
Okay. Trainers. Okay.
Yep. You're going to have trainers.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have some sort of a merchant so people can buy and sell stuff.
At least one. Yep.
At least one, exactly. Depending upon what skills we implement, you would want to have the skill trainer. So, other than that, that's about it for Junction.
Got it. So we wouldn't, because of MVP, we wouldn't have that highlighted list of trainers, but we'd have all the other mage, cleric, well, like
100%.
basically, it feels like rows 20 through 27 are the must-haves. It seems like, or
Yeah, probably some number of these are going to be in there.
okay. So then I would say at minimum, and I would love if we just started shooting for the stars and doing more, but let's say a fighter merchant, 4 trainers, and we want the brewer. Is that a thing?
No, I left the brewer off. Sorry,
No worries.
I highlighted that by accident. Yeah.
So it sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4 trainers and a merchant are sort of the bare minimum for us to have even any semblance of a game. So that's great. Got it.
Yep.
Okay, got it. Cool, awesome. And then I say we just add maybe some fun NPCs just to add. Because don't worry, I don't want it to. I'm almost thinking about prioritization, but we should have fun NPCs just hanging out to add color.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm right there with you. Cool. So spawn system would mainly just be more or less properties that we add and assign values to on the NPC sheet. Basically, is my assumption right now. Like you spawn these squares, basically.
Yeah, and it's already in the code.
Mm-hmm.
At least it was. I haven't looked at this in a while, but on the back end, on the maps, like in Junction, there's the spawn.json. I should probably tell you, spawns apply to NPCs, but also to other things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, for gathering, I'm going to be gathering herbs or I'm going to be chopping down trees. Those are all spawning on their own time schedules as
Right.
well. But yeah, this right here is an actual spawn group. That's the other thing. NPCs spawn in groups, right? Because I could have 1 up to 5 or 10 in a single group. That entire group spawns at the same time.
Okay. Yep.
As a matter of fact, a spawn object is 1 or more groups of enemies, and a group of enemies is 1 or more of a particular type of enemy.
Okay. Okay.
So even right now, in the game, again, those 2 groups that are kind of at the entrance of the newbie zone, those are actually 2 groups. The first group is a group of high-level fighters, guards, level 40 guards, and the second group in that is a group of archers. So I think there's like 3 guards and 2 archers that are guarding the newbie area in one spawn.
Okay.
And then the other one is, I think, all guards and Lieutenant Dan.
Okay. Lieutenant Dan, that's hilarious.
I know. That's kind of the other thing I want to do with, the lore and the games and stuff. I want it to be all tongue in cheek and commentary on social things, et cetera, et cetera. So
I'm excited for the first run to have NPCs that are like, I don't know, some sort of like thing that our friends would know and stuff like that. I think that'd be fun for the original testers.
100%. 100%.
Cool. Awesome. And then
so anyway, yes, the spawn system is in place and it should be working. I don't know if it is. I haven't checked in a long time.
I think I want to mention one quick thing is that I noticed that it was spawn.json. I think we're going to want to start modularizing that based on zones or areas in general instead of it. Because it looks like that might have been one master sheet for all zones. Does that feel
No,
right?
that's all within Junction.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, each one of these has their own spawns,
Excellent.
their own maps,
Perfect.
and their own configs.
Perfect. Got it.
So yeah.
No, I'm glad we modularized that from the beginning.
Yep.
That's great. Awesome.
Yep.
Did you have any thoughts on... Is there... Actually, maybe you could show me. Do you have a list of all the potential mercenaries?
So I started a mercenary sheet, but no, I don't have a list for all of them yet.
No worries. That's cool.
I do have a starting point for it, though.
That's right.
Let me see if I can find that really quickly as well.
Because I'm trying to think about what mercenaries that I've always wanted, and it's always the healer.
Sure.
It's always the healer, but I'm wondering like what would be the most useful, because I think we had agreed upon that we'd want to try to get at least one mercenary done, and I'm trying to wonder like what's like a one mercenary that would fit all the original 4 classes at the beginning for storytelling. I don't know.
Again, I'm hoping that they're easy to come up with. So like these are the first 4 that I would like to implement. These 4, so one of each of the base classes. But I know we only wanted to start with 1, so if we were going to start with 1, I would start with Machion, cleric.
I think we're seeing eye to eye. Everybody really wants the healer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we can see how it goes, but yes, this is kind of like the list of, again, like I said, I just started with mercenaries and what they're going to be and so forth. So we'll flesh this out as needed.
Got it. Okay.
But let's start with Machion as our first mercenary.
Okay, cool. I like that. I like I said, I always want the healer, so then we can go do more fun stuff. Cool. All right.
And you can, I guess, we can link this in the sheet.
Cool.
I'll just put that in here.
Sure.
Oh, come on. Don't be dumb. Why did it do that?
And maybe do we, or would you think it'd be a silent mercenary to start, or do you think the storyline revolves around them a little bit, or do we give them a lot of dialogue juice to kind of add life to the? Okay, you want it to be they're chilling, wait, ready to heal, huh?
Tier 2 dialogue.
Oh, right, right. I was thinking like for the mercenary, do you have them be involved a lot at the get go of the dialogue? Like maybe
No, that's
they're
what
the
I'm
ones.
saying. We'll implement dialogue in like our tier 2 or phase 2 of the MVP.
Sure, sure.
But I mean, the end goal, of course, is mercenaries should be alive. They should
Mm-hmm.
have their own dialogue trees. They honestly should have their own goals, their own intentions, and their own quest line that you can join in on.
Cool.
So mercenaries should be fully fleshed out at the end of the day.
No, I love that. I've actually never done that much with mercenaries before, so that's super cool that they would
Yep,
have their own maybe like quest line of things that you bring
100%.
to help them bring peace. And when you do
Yep,
that, they get stronger and they're more useful to you or something, right? Like,
exactly right.
got it. Totally follow. Cool.
Yep. Anything else on mercenaries?
Nope, I think we're good. Should be
Loot
easy enough.
tables. We can talk about loot tables and what they are.
Yeah.
Let's go into AOD mobs again, and let's just go like to a bat.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like for a bat, the things that it can drop. Here's an example, like, and these loot tables are usually based off of percentages, like 100%. But in most MMORPGs, you want ultra rares, and also I like using ints instead of floats. So everything is out of 10,000 rather than out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
It's just easier to store in the database and whatnot. You don't have
Sure.
to do floating point math, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what happens is 10,000% of the time, 100% of the time, this bat is going to drop 2 bat wings, and then 50% of the time, it's going to drop 1 bat here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does that mean? Well, I don't want any items in the game that don't have a useful purpose, if that makes sense. So obviously, a person could just go and sell those bat wings if they really wanted to. But what do you know? In here, there's a batwing pie.
Mm-hmm.
So you could actually store those bat wings and you could use them to make this batwing pie,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously on use will restore health and energy. So you can use it in crafting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can use it in quests. You can do it in all sorts of things. So I never want to create a loot table that just has bogus crap in it. In addition to that, certain creatures, kobolds, let's just use as an example. Oh, I don't have loot tables for them. But they can also drop money. They could drop coin. But like animals aren't going to drop copper coins or gold coins or whatever.
Sure.
Only humanoid-esque sort of creatures or maybe something else will drop actual money. So a loot table will be a combination of the items that they drop in addition to the money that they drop.
Sure.
Obviously, the higher the levels, the better the gear, the better the stuff that they drop.
And is this gonna live on the NPC objects basically? Like for the bat, there will be like a loot value, like a loot property, and then it just like a new set of rules. Basically, is that how it's gonna shape out?
Yep, there's a
Okay.
loot table object already. It's not attached to NPCs, but it is attached to chests right now in the game. And so let me just bring that up. As a matter of fact, let me see if I have that. Actually, let me see if I have it in here. Where chest? Oh, I don't have it in here. But yes, the chests have a loot object attached to it. And we'll just apply those loot tables to NPCs and it'll follow a similar sort of thing.
Got it. And how might a loot table differ from like me trying to like pickpocket a guard or something, because that's not the same thing. So I was just wondering like
Nope.
how that shape, will that just be another property, like items that he's holding at all times kind of, or
So let me show you.
mm-hmm.
Characters. So in here, let's just take this row. Maybe. Come on. That one, hopefully. So let's see here. NPC, there you go. So you have this death loot table. So this is the brown spider, I think.
I see the difference. Inventory loot table and death loot table. Okay.
Exactly
I
right.
see it. Yeah. Great.
So they're similar, of course, in that you will have a chance for an item that someone could pickpocket,
Mm-hmm.
but the loot tables themselves will be very different.
Got it. No, no, makes sense. And my final question on this then would be: is it totally fine that NPCs and player characters all live under the characters table? Are there any issues that NPCs and characters are mixing at all, or player characters? I mean, or like, is it fine that they all just live in the same table and it's all fine?
Yeah, that's why I actually wanted to use JSON for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, why I wanted to use Postgres for this,
Mm-hmm.
because 95% of the properties are identical between player characters, mercenaries, and
Love
NPCs,
it.
but there are a few optional fields, columns that would only attribute to NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might only attribute to PCs, like faction, for example, will only be on a PC. Dialogue will only be on NPCs and mercenaries, but not on PCs.
Yep. Yep.
So, but that's why I chose JSON, or sorry, I keep saying JSON, but you understand.
I do.
Used
Postgres.
Postgres with
Yeah.
JSON before this specific purpose, and that's why I was talking to AI about using either NoSQL or SQL or vice versa. And I think this is the best of both worlds.
No, I appreciate you doing some of this initial lifting because without having done enough research, I would have went on my way and just made tables for days. I would have just been like
Yep.
table for
Yep.
monsters, table for friendly NPCs, table for
Yep.
the player characters. I think you're right that having them all in one place makes most of sense when they're already like 95% the same except for little things, right? So okay,
Exactly right.
got it. Cool.
Yep. Let's go back to our MVP sheet then.
Yep. I think we're mostly chill. Otherwise, I think there might just only be stuff to talk about for money, and I think that's about it. I think all this other stuff is pretty self-explanatory. I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did we want to talk about this or not?
I think we could if you got time. I think it's all
Sure.
worth talking about. Yeah.
So I don't know that I have a number of items specifically in mind, unless you do.
I don't. I'm just trying to think about the story of what it is that the player drops in on and how we get them to learn how to farm a little bit, learn how to sell some stuff a little bit, learn how to pick up some skills, and then like what gets them to the chieftain and kills him for whatever he drops, and then be like, I'm trying to think about like the path there. So in terms of items, I guess like each character starts with like a rusty X item. Maybe it'd be cool for the character to get to for each item get to be able to upgrade it to something cooler. So by the end of the demo, they're like looking cooler, or feeling cooler. But all this is just out loud talking about what feels cool, not what is like necessary or
Yeah.
practical.
So let's talk a little bit about item stuff as well, since we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about it.
Sure.
One of the really cool things in WoW was they actually were very deliberate in the first time you got to see a certain item for a certain slot.
Mm.
So, for example, the very first time you got a cloak in WoW, it seemed like you unlocked a new sort of skill, as it were, even though it's not a skill, but
Right.
you get the idea.
But it was a big deal. Yeah.
It's a big deal because you didn't actually have a cloak in your first few levels. The first time you could actually get a cloak was actually like level 5 in the
Mhm.
game. And that was huge to suddenly unlock that slot.
And you felt badass because you've already been playing for a few hours without one, and then you put one on.
I
you're
have
like,
a cloak.
Shit.
These
Yeah.
other noobs, they don't have a cloak.
Yeah, I get it. I get
am
it.
badass. So I want to do a similar sort of
Yeah.
feel good moment where there are certain items that you will only ever there's a minimum level your character needs in order to use that item.
Yeah. And maybe you even get them dropped to you, but you just have to stare at it saying minimum level not required, and you're just staring
right.
at it, holding it like an asshole. So I
That's
get
right.
it. Yeah, don't worry.
A lot of games have that, of course.
It's me playing Diablo 2. I'm just like holding on to this item that
That's
they're
right.
like, I have another 45 levels to go before I like, why did you drop this to me then?
That's right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So to that end, we are picturing the tier 1 classes getting to like level 5, I assume, level 10. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Like Junction itself is a starting zone. There's, in theory, it's supposed to only have enough content to go from level 1 to level 5.
Okay.
And then you're supposed to move on to other zones
Yes.
in order to explore, to get more experience, to get better loot, et cetera, to explore more of the game, explore more of the story. So in Junction itself, I think we'll probably only want to drop enough items to maybe be like through level 5.
No, I love it. That makes sense because it's tight, and we'll get the story to be that you're going to the chieftain for some reason. It just feels very tidy, and then it'd be like, oh, next time you come back, you'll be leaving Junction. That leaves.
That's right.
I think I love that. That makes me. I'm like excited about it right now, thinking about it. So I know that pattern makes sense, if you will. Yeah.
In fact, in here, if you ever want to look at it, oh, not that. Sorry. Just wrap up with this, and then we can end this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Sorry. This right here. If you ever want, see, this is why I do this. No, this is why I do this.
You can click the top right. You can just switch over.
What I was gonna do is actually, I'm trying to do it off screen just so my other, Why don't I just share that entire thing with AOD? That's weird. I thought I had done that. Anyway, this right here is all of the zones. Like Junction, you can see is kind of in the middle here. And I've been building it out slowly over time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of room for growth on the map.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of get a feel for the levels that you're going to be exploring. So Junction's right here, 5 to 10, 5 to 10, and then you're expanding outward and outward. Obviously, the further north you go or the more out you go, you're going to get higher level content on the outskirts, etc. And again, I talked a little bit about alignment. Like, these are the evil races in here. These are the good races here. And then most of it is all neutral races. So just kind of get a feel of the world and what it's supposed to look like.
Sure. No, it makes sense. I think this is great. It helps the demo to be very, like not sandbox, but sort of like you know that you have enough area to explore, run around, get your feet wet, and then you get to know the why, and it's like, it just feels great. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Dude, I like seeing it like this, and I like talking about it. I'm excited to play. And now I'm like, now it's like the faster I get combat done, the faster we can finally play, right? So I get it.
Yep, exactly right.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot to go over. I think we've basically got a vision for where we want to be, right?
I think so too. I think we're in a good spot. Let me know if you want me to keep doing cleanup and bug patching, but I feel like I kind of want to just try to get something like the full gameplay loop done, and then we go back and clean up. Let me know if you disagree, but I was thinking I'd try to go tackle, because then once combat gets fleshed out slightly, then we have the ability to shoehorn in the hotbar and skills and all kinds of stuff. So then,
sure, whatever. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Do you have any plugs?
Man, I got no plugs this time around. Let me think. I've been running around like a mad lad. Let's see. Plugs. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I've been making a lot of sourdough and failing, so no plugs for any of the recipes I'm reading online.
Okay.
Are you working on any experiments right now? I've been experimenting hard. How about this? I'll give a shout out to the both bourguignon recipe on Serious Eats. I just finished it. It was delicious. It was even better than the one that I had in Paris. So big shout out to Serious Eats. Keep doing your thing, Serious Eats.
Which one is Serious Eats?
Serious Eats is the one that Kenji will post on often. This is not a Kenji recipe. This is I want to say it's a Dan Gritzer recipe. Who Dan Gritzer is also like a beast. So.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do have a plug. I'm sorry. Chris Young. He's another, because I'm on cooking now. Chris Young did a stock recipe where you take an entire Costco chicken and you just pressure cook it. It was the best chicken stock I've ever had. I couldn't believe it. And that's what I put into my beef bourguignon. So big shout out to that recipe. I'm never buying store bought stock again. I'm just gonna keep going to Costco and blitzing the shit out of this and making stock that way. It was incredible stock.
That's a good shout out.
Yeah.
I am gonna shout out. It's I don't know. I guess it might be. Oops. Oh, hold on a second. Hopefully you didn't hear that.
Nope.
So this is a little bit of hubris. I don't know what you would want to call it.
Love it. I like hubris, dude.
So I'm gonna shout out this. I'm gonna show it on screen. Show
You
on
don't have
screen.
you don't have premium on this one, huh?
I don't have premium on this one.
Oh, this fan, right? This
I
fan.
wanted to talk about this content creator here.
Biohazard is online. Yeah.
Biohazard is online.
Is
So
online.
yep, Biohazard is online. So I went to their channel. I wanted to see if they're still making content as of 7 days ago. So they're
Hmm.
still current doing other games. But this fool, this guy, I don't know, guy or girl,
Hmm.
whatever. They actually started out level 1 in Dawn of the Dragons back in the day,
Hmm.
and they made 200 YouTube videos with all of the content for Dawn of the Dragons up until level 861, etc., all free to play. They played this game completely free. They didn't spend any money on it. So ridiculous amount of dedication, and just a mad shout out to Biohazard is online. I want to plug their site for doing this.
No, I love it. So when you see something like this, like these diehards that you will also this guy, he played. How long did he need to grind to get to level, like in this game? How long do you have to grind to get to 861? Is it like a strenuous grind, or is it like, oh man, at some point he was going fast? Because either way, I think that must be really cool to feel like someone loves your game this much, right?
I know. I wish they showed like October 17th, 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what this one is. Oh, he uploaded it at the
Upload it all
same
one time,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, lame. Uh, but to answer your question, it's not simple, and you can accelerate your growth by spending money.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's true that this person didn't spend any money, I mean, they grinded hard to get to where they ended up. We're talking months upon months, maybe not even a year to get to level 861, if not more.
How far did you get yourself? If you because I presume you played the game a little bit too, right?
Oh yeah, I absolutely played it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got to a level like 5200 or something crazy like that.
Oh, that's really crazy then. Or did you go into the database and do that, or did you grind yourself?
I had unlimited money, so I could just give myself all the planet coins I wanted.
I
So
got it, got
I
it.
got free refills, and I could just churn all the way through.
When you got annoyed, you're like, all right, let me go to the DB and just pump this up a little
That's
bit.
right, exactly right. So, but yeah, major kudos to this player.
Well, let me unpackage this. Sorry if you have time. How do you feel about like? Because I'm the one that went and found that sub. I know you didn't find this in the sub, but like there's like a Reddit subreddit of like people who are just like if you scroll down in the comments, they're like, I miss this game so much. Like
Yeah,
everyone feels this way.
yeah.
How does that make you feel about the game that you had worked on and stuff like that?
It's humbling, honestly.
Hmm.
It's crazy to think that you could make something that impacts another person so meaningfully. It's crazy to think about that. When you're just starting out making games, you're just doing it because of the fun or the challenge or whatever. You have no idea what impact this is going to have on anyone.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, to actually see people love and adore it and come up with wikis for it and subreddits and so forth, it really is humbling. It's just like, you can't believe it.
What was your secret sauce that you would say that, or within reason of like, oh, like you and a buddy decided you guys were just gonna try something with no prior experience? What do you think it was that happened? Was it sick marketing? Was it word of mouth? Like, what was it that you think made it kind of take off in a way that, because people like were definitely not obsessed, but they loved it. They really liked the grind of what that game was. Like, what do you think? Like how do you think you struck that? How do you think you struck that basically?
There are two super important keys, I think, to any independent game, small game like this. Number one is community outreach. You
Mm-hmm.
want to be as close to the players as possible.
Sure.
So at the time, we had forums with our, we were on the forums all the time talking to the community. As we got more money, we did community councils, player councils, where we flew 10 players in from the community to sit down with us and talk to us directly. We, put them up in hotels. We paid for their food for like a long weekend, like 4 days. And we would just sit in the office and do 6 hours straight of development and talking about what would be good for free players, what's good for advanced players, etc. And literally just listening to the community through and through, all the different types of players as well. That was number one. The most important thing to our success was listening to the community. But as far as like the other things that we added, we had a really, really talented story writer who wrote millions upon millions of words within the game, within the lore, so that those who were invested with the backstory would find even more depth to the gameplay rather than just clicking on the button. So I think between the story and the community outreach, those really set us apart and made it so that people fell in love with the game itself.
Okay, okay. So then, is there a reason in particular that this game had to get sunset? Just because I don't actually know. Just wondering why this had to get pulled because everyone's still clamoring for it to come back.
Well, after we sold it, it's really up to that company to decide what to do with it.
So the Nords just decide, fuck it, we don't want it anymore. Is that what happened or something like that?
Well, again, I'll go back to the secret of what made it special.
Yeah.
They really did not have a closeness to the community, and they
Yep.
really didn't have story writers writing content
I follow.
anymore.
It naturally had its own end because people weren't invested like that anymore.
That's correct.
Got it. Okay.
So, kind of a lesson there for our game, for AOD, is the closer we are to the community, the better off we are, and the more intricate we can make the story, the more intriguing we can make it, the better off we'll be.
Well, it's really funny. I was talking to Becca about this, and she was like, "Oh, like what would success look like to you for this game?" And I was like, "If I could work on this indefinitely for like 15 to 100 people, I would honestly do that indefinitely." So,
Yeah.
I was like, the money would not be as big of a deal as being able to like hang out with people and keep building indefinitely. So,
Yep.
yeah, I hear you on that. That's really cool. Yeah, because I would love if just a few people played and we just always kept building indefinitely. I think that'd be cool.
Yep. I think you nailed it, though. If you're doing something that you love, then yeah, this is just fun. It's exciting.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Awesome. No, thanks for sharing that story, dude. And also thanks for Biohazard is online. You should come find us, dude. Come play our game when we're ready.
That's exactly right. Cool. All right, my friend. I will talk to you next time.
Peace out. Take care.
All right. Bye.